grim darkness of the far future, there are only overpriced minis. Hi there folks, Greenside Project here. What I'd like to talk to you about today is how to build a reasonably sized army for under £100 or just about £100. Now, the miniature hobbies, I'm sure you're very aware if you're watching this video, can be very expensive. If you look on any forums, there'll be people discussing at great length how expensive it can be. I've been in the hobby one way or another since the mid-90s. It's always been quite a pricey hobby, but it's got proportionally more and more expensive. I think that's fair to say. There's not a price hike this year, apparently, or there will not be a price hike this year on first-party Games Workshop products. So basically minis. Minis will not be going up in price. However, third-party Games Workshop products, so products Games Workshop sells with the Games Workshop logo, but does not itself make, we're thinking here paints, paintbrushes, that sort of thing, they will be going up in price. Also, every time you get a new codex out, new sets of minis, like we've got some lovely Eldar minis coming out, but we're increasingly looking at £30, £40 for a set of 5 minis. Lovely if you can afford it. Now, I probably could afford it if I wanted to. I'm lucky, I've got a reasonable job, but I've also got a girlfriend. I like eating. My girlfriend likes eating. I like living somewhere with a roof. I like going outside and being human occasionally. I enjoy other things of life too. So I wanted to see if I could assemble a reasonable sized army that would be reasonably good to game with for under, or just about £100. Here's how I did it. Now, as I talk, I'm going to be showing minis, sometimes to illustrate a point, and sometimes just so I've got something to show you. Now, as a lot of you will already guess, my first decision was to buy the Dark Vengeance box set. Because I bought it just before it came out, I ordered the limited edition, which is why I've got this guy, Interrogator Chaplain Grimdarkius. Say hello, Grimdarkius. Heresy! Ah, yes, good old Grimdarkius. What was it, about £61.50, I think it was. Obviously, these are only half the minis you get with it. You also get Chaos. Either buy a box with a friend, split it, sell the Chaos on eBay, or just keep it and have another new starter for an army when you want. That's what I'm doing. I just occasionally like painting different minis when I'm bored doing an army paint job. Anyway, so you've got that box set. That's around 700 points. As you can see, the only two models I've not painted up from this yet are the two regular command guys, your commander and your librarian. They're still in the box waiting assembly. I save sort of my generals to last. Anyway, so Dark Vengeance box set. Next step, eBay for an attack bike that came pre-assembled. So I had to do a little bit of work removing things like mould lines and things. As you can see, it's nowhere near finished painting yet. I've got no highlighting there. But you can see some things I've done. Added the rings on the back from a bits box. Added some Ravenry rings, which I got very, very cheaply. What else? Added the base, because I like the base. Obviously, this blue thing you see is a jam jar lid that I use for painting and not touching the model. There was a nice bit of glue on the back, so I sculpted just a little bit of a package. It looks like the Raven Ring going on a lovely picnic. But anyway, so I think that was £8 or £9, got it off eBay. That's another 60 points, because it's an attack bike with melter. Next up, to make the army legal, brought some scouts. Now, this is one of 2 squads that I managed to buy. The other are in my shelf of doom, waiting to be assembled. As you can see, these are the old metal models. I quite like them. About £12 for 2 squads. Made my army legal because it's troop choices. I had to do a little bit of paint stripping, which I did because these are metal minis, using very manly nail polish remover. Fantastic, fast, gets the job done. For goodness sake, don't use it with Finecast, or Finecast always wants to melt anyway. It'll give it a great excuse to. Probably don't use it with plastic either, but can definitely be used safely with metal. So, scouts. That takes me to around £20 to make the army legal. Add an attack bike. Next step, Devastators. As you can see, these guys aren't painted yet, but they're nearly there. These Devastators cost me £9 for a nearly complete set of Devastator sprues. There were 1 set of legs, 1 body, and all the missile launchers were gone. Other than that, no problems. Now, I don't particularly mind about Skyfire. I do have some Imperial Guard. I can live without that. Even if I didn't have Imperial Guard, well, I'm just not much of a tournament player. you know, maybe my fluff would just be the Dark Angels that got massacred by anything that was flying. Anyway, all I really had to do was make sure that I had another spare pair of legs, which you can see this lovely Sergeant has, and those are actually legs, I think, from this 3rd edition 40k box that I've had kicking around for a long time. Just to the assembly like normal. So they were £9. I think the shoulder pads, because I brought them a set of metal shoulder pads, that was £1. So that takes us to £30 plus Dark Vengeance, which takes us to about £91. Devastators, obviously, you know, that's a good, what, about 120, 130? I do have the codex. About 130 or so points, right. Next step, my veterans, which I'm going to use as my veteran HQ. Now, these were actually almost exceptionally cheap, which was lovely for me. Again, needed a bit of scraping, blah, blah, blah. Needed a bit of paint removal, I'll say. I have no idea what I was going to say originally. Stripping, that's it. Anyway, bit of stripping, no problems. They had the sort of plastic arms and held bolters. I didn't want those, I wanted them to be a proper command squad. So this guy here, he's going to be my champion. So I've given him a Grey Knight sword, which is sticking to the stone. Got some bits over here. I've got a shield for him off eBay. I've got these guys who are going to have some lovely chain swords. Can you see that? And a bit of a storm bolter. I picked up for about £1 a Deathwing Apothecary arm, which I chiselled away so it would fit under a shoulder pad. Put a bit of green stuff in there, you can see, and that's going to make an apothecary. Now it's slightly too large, but only ever so slightly. I've got some ideas of how to. I'm going to take away the needle, put a bit of guitar string in there so it's nice and sharp, and I think I'm just going to get away with that. And also, last but by no means least, I bought my friend here, Mr. Highly Poisonous Lead Mini, standard bearer. People who've not worked with lead before, because, yeah, you don't want to die a horrible cancerous death. You might not know how soft lead can be, which meant by the time this guy arrived for me, his stand had done a lovely bit of snapping. No probs, just cut off the excess, drill through with your pin vise drill, pop a brass rod through there. Hardest bit was getting the top bit of the standard that I did want to keep and use stuck on well. In the end, I experimented with a couple of things. Good old bit of green stuff that just needs filing down. I had a spare power fist for him. I just took a bit of chiseling away and green stuffing to get that to fit on nicely. I do have backpacks for all these guys to put on, but I'm going to wait till after I've painted them. I think that's it. So, like I say, I reckon, in fact, I know, because I've done the points, you're looking at around 1,250 for all these guys, plus the third lot of 5 scouts, which you could always put together into one big squad of scouts, and given how quickly they've been dying on me, it might not be a bad idea. Plus the 2 command guys from Dark Vengeance. You're looking at a reasonably sized army for a good, you know, low level points to mid level point game. My next steps would be, I've actually got my eye on, having saved all this money, buying a nice Forge World Venerable Dread. But Dread's really, really cheap if you look on eBay. If I was still trying to save money, I'd add one of those in. Predator tanks you can get for under £20, well under £20 if you're prepared to look around. You can get them for 15, 16, 17. I'd be looking at one of those. Or, of course, allies. Now, I'm lucky I've got about a platoon's worth at least of Metal Imperial Guard, plus some other things. But, you know, certainly getting this army, I could get this with the addition of a Dread and a tank. That would be about £25 to £30 way into 1,500 points territory, which would be awesome. It can be done, guys. Trick is, be prepared to strip, buy on eBay, and be patient. Some things on eBay can be expensive. Don't just think because it's the first thing you say it's going to be a good deal. But there are fantastic deals on eBay. Remember, £9 for Devastators. Okay, well, super. I'd like to know your comments. Obviously, if you've got horrendous comments, best you put them on someone else's video and then I'll get back to you there. If you've got constructive comments, though, or want to share or ask anything, like how could you drone on for 10 minutes without saying anything particularly interesting, please feel free to leave those questions for me. And good luck building a cheap and nice-looking army. See you later.